Happy Vlogmas, everyone! Hi everyone, welcome to our Crazy Life Scotland and Vlogmas Day 10 already! Let's start the vlog by seeing what those elves got up to this morning. Where are they this morning? Uh-oh. What have we got going on today? Is that a note?
Marshmallow jacuzzi.
A marshmallow jacuzzi. Right.
Float on the lazy river.
Floating on the lazy river. Okay, you look quite comfy in your
face mask.
A chocolate face mask. Oh, Spud! That's my skinny chocolate spread.
Reindeer massage.
And the reindeer massage. Elsa's got her house coat on to get her massage. Elf Care Day. Marshmallow jacuzzi, float on the lazy river, chocolate face mask, reindeer massage. Hopefully Jingles is still elf isolating.
Yeah.
Is he? Good boy, Jingles. I know it's tough. But only 8 days to go. 8 days to go. 16 days to go. 16 days till Santa. Join in.
No.
Yes, so those naughty elves decided to have a little self-care, well, an elf care day. I'm sure they needed it after their party the night before. So there was a little spa going on in their bathroom. I don't know. Don't know. I'm just jealous, to be honest, what I would do to be at a spa day right now. It would be so nice. Right, Advent time now. Right, day 9. Good morning. How's your ear? It's still sore. I'll phone the doctor at 8. Hello, Willa. Willa wants to see what you got. It's not food.
Cube World Magic.
Mmm.
Well, I've seen this.
What's Abby got?
It's another short here. Oh, it's like a pillowcase.
Is that a cushion cover?
Yeah.
Oh, fab! I've got cushions you can put in it. Oh, it's from Buddy! Hold it up. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing aloud for all to hear. Oh, Buddy the elf. Yeah, it's a fidget cube.
Oh, it's not a cube.
I know, but it's a fidget thing. A fidget ball. Does some of the balls go in and some of them come out? Oh. Ah.
It's like a sphere Rubik's Cube.
Ah, I see.
You have to get them, you have to mess it up.
And then get all the right colours and the right balls and the right colours.
Mm.
Ah, right, cool. What you got?
So cool. I got a Christmas pudding.
A Christmas pudding. And what's the saying?
No one brings a bag of shit to the pub.
What?
No one brings a bag of shit to a pub.
No one brings a bag of shit to a pub. Alright. Oh, Molly. Is that another sticker?
Yeah, platform 9.
Platform 9 and 3/4, yay!
Not Slytherin.
No, but still, platform 9 and 3/4 is good. Right, time for my advent calendar now. And day 9, I think there's going to be some mistletoe and a Santa hat. No, a robin. I don't know why I changed my mind there. Well, there is a Santa hat, but it's on a horse. So cute. Please excuse my cut finger. I've not got any plaster. It's not as bad as it looks. Oh, we've got a stocking and a candy cane and parcels and a Milky Bar inside it, behind the chocolate. And the chocolate is Santa! Yay for Santa! Sorry, I'm going to eat you. Right, it is day 9 of my Advent swap with Laura as well. Got mistletoe paper today. Wow, lots of beautiful stuff again, Laura. I have to go for this first because it's an autumn leaf and I love autumn. It's, I think, my favourite season. I do like Christmas and winter, but autumn, there's just something that I love about it. And this will be brilliant in my autumn journal that I've started making but hardly touched. Oh, look at Rudolph. He is so cute. Oh, we've got a lovely flower here. That's made out of felt, I think. So we've got 3 different layers and then it's sewn together in the middle. That is beautiful. What a lovely idea. Oh, more sparkle. Look at the sparkle on that. Oh, I like that tag. I like that. Chocolate, chocolate. Yum, 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 yum. Why did I start singing that tune? Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. Oh, look. I love that. I know this was meant to be a crafty swap, but that is going on my keyring, my house keyring, because I love owls and that is adorable. So yes, that is going on my house keyring. Look, there was something similar to this the other day that was lovely. Did you make these, Laura? They're gorgeous. Different layers of paper. Is it all paper? And got the wire and the heart. That is so, so lovely. And it's got this sort of grid mesh over it as well. That is really nice. I love that, Laura. Oh, lovely stag sticker. I didn't say it, but this would be great on a Christmas card. And I could even put that on the envelope. Yay! That's a plan. And we've got another butterfly. We've got a yellow one this time. And finally, we've got another little blank tag. These are all fab again, Laura. Absolutely brilliant. So unfortunately, I didn't film the dogs getting their advent calendar today because I was in the shower when I gave them. So we missed out on that today, but I will try and catch them tomorrow for you. Brooke got a wee fidget ball thing that I kept calling the fidget cube because it had came in a square box, but it was a fidget ball, but it's a puzzle at the same time, so you have to try to get all the different coloured balls to match the surroundings, but you fidget with it because there's one hole, so you push the balls through the holes and it's actually really relaxing. And Abby got a cushion cover. Yay, she got a cushion cover that I've got a cushion insert sitting there that she can put in it and it can sit on her bed all through Christmas because Abby won't have a Christmas duvet. She's too cool for that. So yeah, she can have that cushion, and then once it's not Christmas anymore, I'll get her a different cushion cover for so that she can still have a cushion on her bed, and I think that would be quite nice. But Abby just loves Elf. We all love Elf, and Buddy is just amazing. So yeah, I knew she would appreciate that one. Another sticker in the Harry Potter calendar today, platform 9 3/4, so she's still not had her Slytherin thing. And Abby's, yes, I'm not going to repeat what was in Abby's advent calendar. I apologise if it offended anyone. There was a bit of a sweary word in there. I'm sure you weren't offended. And of course, I just love mine, as always. Now, talking of Abby, I thought I would give you a little update. So yesterday, I had phoned NHS 24 because Abby had really bad earache. And they suggested that we go along to the chemist and talk to the pharmacist to see about getting either stronger painkillers or an ear spray. So we did, and the pharmacist said that she wouldn't give her anything stronger because it would be cocodamol and codeine's addictive, and Abby's only 16, so she doesn't want to start her on it. Like, so you're just assuming that because she's 16 she's going to become an addict, really? And also she couldn't give her the spray because that's prescription only. So they suggested that she comes home, carries on taking the paracetamol and ibuprofen, and puts a hot water bottle on it, which she had been doing anyway. And if it got excruciatingly bad that she couldn't cope, we were to phone NHS 24 again. But our out of hours is like a 45-minute drive away, so I was really hoping we wouldn't have to do that. And she said, and you know, if she does manage to get to this morning to try and get an appointment with the doctor. So thankfully she's been in a lot of pain, but she did make it through the night. We didn't have to phone NHS 24, and I did manage to get hold of the doctor this morning and he said to take her along at 11:45. So we'll be doing that later on, and I will let you know how she got on. Right, so when I was looking for suggestions, oh, by the way, see when I'm editing, when I'm editing videos, I notice that it keeps sounding like I'm breaking wind. It's my wheelchair squeaking, so please don't think that's what I'm doing. I just moved there and thought, oh, I better tell you, I'm not breaking wind a lot. I'll wait until I'm off camera for that. It's just my chair. Yeah, so one of the suggestions that I got for Vlogmas videos was talking about our Christmas traditions. So I thought, right, okay. And I know I did it last year, but it got me thinking about how traditions have changed over the years, in my family anyway. I thought back to when I was like Brooke's age and what our traditions at Christmas were then compared to now, and I thought it might be quite nice to talk about our traditions but in like a comparative way as to what it was like when I was that age and what it's like now. So, and even this year, obviously a lot of things have changed because they've had to. So let's talk about Christmas traditions. The first thing that I want to talk about is the Christmas tree. Now, when I was young, families didn't put the trees up together. It was the fairies who put the trees up. And I would never know when it was going to happen, but I always knew anytime from like the end of November, beginning of December, the fairies could come. And I always went to my bed really excited. And then one morning I would get up and I would see all the lights on and I would know that the fairies had been and they brought the tree and they decorated it and it was absolutely gorgeous. And I loved that. I really did love all that excitement. And now we don't do that. Now it's not the fairies that do it, it's the families that do it. And when Jack was young, the fairies never did it for him. He always did it as part of a family thing. So that's what we decided to do for Abby and Brooke. So we have always done it as a family. We try to do it around about the first weekend in December, but it just depends on what else is going on. And we always put on a Christmas film. The last few years it has been The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. That's our favourite. And one of the reasons we put that on is because we know it off by heart, so we don't need to sit and watch it properly. It's just nice listening to it in the background while we're putting the tree up, putting the decorations up and everything. So we absolutely love doing that. And the last couple of years what we've done is we've put the tree up through the day and then at night we've sat and watched a nice Christmas film with all the lights on and things. So that is lovely. That is what we do around putting the tree up. When it comes to decorating the tree, we don't use tinsel, we just use baubles and lights, and that's always been the thing. In fact, no, when I was young, we did use tinsel when I was really young, and then we went from using tinsel to using, what was it called? Was it lametta or something? It was like the really fine strands of silver that you would sort of throw over the tree and it would just sort of drape down it. But we don't use anything like that now. We just use baubles and we don't have a specific colour scheme. We just go with whatever baubles we like, and every year we get at least one new bauble, and I think we've had 2 or 3 this year, and we've tried to get one that relates to the kind of year that we've had. So that's, we just think that's quite a nice thing to do. I was tempted to get one with Santa wearing a mask for COVID, and then I thought, do we really want to be reminded of this year? I don't think we'll need a reminder. I think we know what happened this year. And the girls usually get a new bauble each in their Christmas Eve boxes as well, but I'll talk about that in a moment. So that is our Christmas tree. In the build up to Christmas, when I was younger, I would have lots of parties to go to because there would always be a party at my mum's work and at my dad's work. So I had at least 2 Christmas parties. Then I would have a Christmas party at school, and it was a proper party at night. It wasn't during school time. And most of the clubs and things that I was part of would have some sort of Christmas thing. So when I was in the Brownies and the Guides, I would have a Christmas party with them. And just wherever there was a party, I was there. I used to love parties. Not so much now. I'm not much of a social butterfly now. I like my house. But back then, I loved it. So yeah, I always went to a Christmas party at my mum's work and at my dad's work. But I don't know about any of you, but no companies seem to do that anymore. Certainly since the girls have been born, none of the companies I've worked for have had Christmas parties for the kids. And none of the companies that Jack's worked for since I've known him have had Christmas parties for the kids either. That is a tradition that they're missing out on, really, because I used to love it, and there was always a Santa there and you always got a gift, and I always got excited because it was always held at my mum's work and at my dad's work, so you got to see where they worked and everything as well, and it was lovely. It was really, really good. It's a shame that a lot of companies don't tend to do that anymore, but everything has to move on and everything has to change. Other thing that we always used to do was go to a pantomime, and it was always before Christmas, never after Christmas. We never saw the point in a pantomime after Christmas because it's over by then. Why do you want to get Christmassy when there's no Christmas anymore? So we always went in the lead up to Christmas, and it would either be with my mum and dad. Usually we would go to a place called the McRobert Centre at Stirling University with my mum and dad, and there would be a sort of smallish production there, and with whatever group I was involved in at the time, youth club or whatever, I would go to one of the big pantomimes in Glasgow, and that always had some celebrities and things in it. And then as I got older, we didn't always go to the McRobert Centre one, but we would always go to one in Glasgow, and just loved it. Brooke does usually get a party at school, however it's through the day and it's normally in the assembly hall, so it's like half the school at the time where she is now because it's a small school. In our other school it was maybe just a couple of years at a time, like to primary 6 and primary 7 sort of thing. That was really it. Brooke's not part of a lot of clubs or anything, so she didn't have a lot of parties to go to. The last couple of years we went to the Young Carers one, I think, because with me being disabled, they're in the Young Carers, and they had a brilliant party for the Young Carers. Abby, being at high school, they usually have a school dance, if you like. They would do their social dancing leading up to Christmas, and then they would have a big school dance, but that isn't happening this year for obvious reasons. And at Brooke's school, they have just told us that they are getting a party, but it's just their own class and it's in the classroom. So it's not going to be much of a party, but it's still something for them to look forward to. They can get dressed up for it. And I would imagine there'll be music and treats and things like that, maybe games. So that's quite nice. Oh, the other thing that we used to do in the lead up to Christmas was visit Santa. It's not Christmas without visiting Santa. So when I was young, I used to love going to visit Santa, and the parties that I was at would always have a Santa as well. When the girls were young, they always went to see Santa. They were both terrified of him when they were really young, but then they sort of grew to like it. And they would go and see them usually like in shopping centres and things like that. But then in later years, that became sort of part of our Christmas Eve tradition, which I'll talk about shortly as well. Pantomime-wise now, for the last few years, in fact, since Abby was a baby, and up until last year, and including last year, Abby's just reminded me that our last pantomime was 2 years ago. Time flies. We actually did a pantomime. We were taking part in a pantomime that I used to write for my sins. I used to write it, and it was me and my mum and a whole load of ladies from her dancing, and then some other people used to get involved as well in later years that weren't anything to do with the dancing, and we loved it. It was a lot of work, but it was so much fun, and every year it got bigger and better. And originally we would only perform it for all the dancers. My mum would have a big Christmas party for all her. My mum's a line dance teacher, if anyone doesn't know. So she has a whole load of different classes, or she did have a whole load of different classes. And at Christmas, they would all come together for a big party. And that's when we would perform our pantomime. And it got bigger and better every year. And my mum would spend an absolute fortune on props and costumes and things like that. And then for a good few years, we started performing it in the community centre where my mum's a chairperson, and we would do that for charity. So we always raised about £1,000, I think, from our pantomimes and different bits and pieces leading up to Christmas for different charities. And that was just so much fun. That was more fun than actually going to watch a pantomime. And when I did go to watch a pantomime, I used to say, ours was better than that. Or we would have done that bit better. which is all the rubbish, you know, rose-tinted specs and all that. But the girls haven't really regularly gone to pantomimes. If there's been one on and they've had a chance to go, they've went and enjoyed it. I think Brooke went with the Young Carers last year. The year before, Brooke was meant to go with the Young Carers, but it was cancelled due to the snow. But other than that, not really. Also, of course, leading up to Christmas, there was all sorts of things going on at the school. There would be like a school show. When I was young, I always took part in the school show, and we always did that at Christmas. I did things like I was in like Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat and Oliver and Mary Poppins, all that sort of thing. Used to love it. And I was part of an amateur dramatic group as well. Can you tell that I'm dramatic? And we used to do like panto type things as well, and loved it. Schools always had a service. Now, when I was young, it was in a church, and it would be as close to Christmas as possible. And then when I got to high school, I always ended up having to sing a song in the church as part of it. So that was nerve-wracking. And it was usually maybe the 23rd, sometimes Christmas Eve, because when we were younger, we had to go to school on Christmas Eve, unless it was a weekend. Whereas now they finish earlier. It's the 23rd they're finishing this year, which is a good thing because it gives us a chance to do something on Christmas Eve. I don't think Abby's had any kind of service at high school, but at primary school, Brooke's always had something, whether it's in the school or at the church. But obviously this year again, it's not happening. When Abby was in primary one, she was Mary in the Nativity, which was brilliant. It was so sweet, so lovely to see. But I remember Jack growling beside me because the wee boy playing Joseph kept trying to put his arm around her, and Jack's like, if he touches her again. He's always been a protective dad. So yeah, Abby was Mary in the Nativity. And Brooke did the Nativity, I think, but I didn't get to go because I was in the hospital. I was really ill at that point, which was really sad. But my mum went to everything that I missed out on. The other thing leading up to Christmas, we would always go to the light switch on. So when I was younger, it would be Falkirk, and it was a big deal. I mean, it was in Falkirk High Street. They had a big Christmas tree there, and they would always get some sort of minor celebrity, a very minor celebrity. And there would be things going on from early in the day, some sort of entertainment. There would be choirs, there would be parades. One year they had Santa and being pulled by reindeer, which was gorgeous. Loads of different things, Christmas music, and the atmosphere was just amazing. Even if it was freezing, it was a brilliant atmosphere, and there would be a big countdown, and then the lights would go on, and it was amazing. And that was always great. And then when the girls were young, I used to do that with them in Falkirk as well. But as the years went on, there was sort of less and less happening. The lights would still have a switch on, but there wouldn't be a celebrity. It'd maybe be the provost or something like that switching it on. And then when we moved here, the Helensburgh one, they tried, but it wasn't really a great day. They did have some entertainment, but there wasn't a set programme, and it just didn't have the same atmosphere. But we still went, and it was still nice to see the lights getting switched on. And this year, of course, I don't think anywhere was allowed to have a big crowd gathering for the light switch on. So the lights are up and the lights are on, but there was nothing actually going on. So that's been quite sad. That's a tradition that we've missed out on again this year. Advent calendars. How have they changed over the years? My goodness. When I was young, when I was very young, it was just flat cardboard advent calendars, and you opened the door and there was a picture behind each door. There was no chocolate, nothing like that. But it was just so exciting because you had to guess what picture it was, and it was great if you were right and things like that. Then as I got older, the chocolate advent calendars came out, and you just thought you were the bee's knees if you got a chocolate advent calendar. And then you got to guess what the picture would be and what the shape of the chocolate would be. And then as time went on, the advent calendars sort of changed. So you would get, like, rather than just chocolate shapes, you would get proper sweets behind them. So you would get like celebrations and heroes and things like that. That's what we always did for the girls. We always got them quite a good chocolate advent calendar. Last year we started, I think it was just last year, getting them a different advent calendar. So rather than a chocolate one, Brooke got a Schleich one, so it was all horse figures and things, and I got her a different, like my mum got one and I got the other. So she had two horse advent calendars. Abby got I got her a tea bag one, I think, so it was a different flavoured tea every day, and my mum got her a perfume one, so it was a different sample of perfume every day. When I saw Tracy, the Mad Scots lass, doing her advent box for Ali, I thought to myself, you know what, that has to be a better idea. Girls are absolutely loving it. And what I'm going to do next year to make it even cheaper is what Tracy does. I'm going to start buying for it in the January sales. So any Christmas stuff that's left over that I think they'll like, I'm going to buy it and put it away for the advent box, and that way it's going to save a lot of money. So advent calendars have definitely changed over the years, going from a little bit of paper with a picture to actually opening a gift every day. So I think we're on to Christmas Eve now. When I was young, I can't remember doing anything specific on Christmas Eve when I was like Brooke's age. All I can remember is being so excited that I wanted to go to bed at like 4 o'clock. I would get in from school and then I'd be like, is it bedtime yet? When can I go to bed? When can I go to bed? Because I just wanted to go to bed. Then as I got older, me and my mum and a couple of my mum's friends and my friends would go to the Christmas Eve service at the church. We've never been religious people. We don't really go to church any other time. In fact, we don't go to church any other time of year. However, we loved the Christmas Eve service. It would always be about 11 o'clock at night, and we would go out, we would get all wrapped up warm, we would go out and we would enjoy the service, we would sing hymns and carols, and then at midnight the bells would go and everybody, even if you didn't know them, would turn round and shake hands or give a hug and say Merry Christmas. And then on the way out we would always shake hands with the minister, Merry Christmas, and all the rest of it. And it was just lovely. The atmosphere was amazing. And then when we got home, we would always open one present each, but that was it, one present. And that would be us. We would open that present and then we would go to bed waiting for Christmas Day. When the girls came along, we would always plan to do something on Christmas Eve, whether it would be to go and see a Santa somewhere or go and look at the Christmas lights. Right, so I'm just editing this vlog and Abby reminded me of what we always used to do on Christmas Eve when she was tiny.
On Christmas Eve we'd dress up and saw the singing kettle, which, yeah, we did that every Christmas Eve. I'd always end up on stage. Yes,
every time they said, can we have volunteers, Abby's hand was right up there and Abby would be up on stage with them. We just loved it, didn't we?
Yeah, went there every year since I was tiny, and we went a few times when Brooke was born as well. Then we stopped. The singing kettle stopped.
The singing kettle stopped, that's right, they split up. For anybody who doesn't know, the singing kettle were like a Scottish band stroke kids entertainer stroke theatre group.
They were really popular.
They were really popular.
But it wasn't like they wouldn't do their own. They wouldn't do like one Christmas Eve. It would be Snow White and all that. It was their own.
Yeah, it was all their own story. Do the actions. Spout, handle, lid of metal. What's inside the singing kettle? Then, I can't remember what year it was that Christmas Eve boxes first came about. So basically, when the girls get up in the morning on Christmas Eve, elves have brought them, that's another tradition I need to talk about in a minute, a Christmas Eve box. So inside their Christmas Eve box, they would always have a tree bauble, like I mentioned, Christmas pyjamas, some sort of little game for playing on Christmas Eve, a DVD, a Christmas DVD, a Christmas book and some sweets, that sort of thing. And there would always be something wacky like Christmas glasses, like Christmas tree glasses, or a daft Christmas hat or something like that that we would make them wear when we went out to whatever event we were going to. Last year we went to Elfingrove, so it was at the Kelvingrove Museum, and that was a great night. It wasn't quite Christmas Eve, we couldn't get it booked for Christmas Eve, but we did it as our Christmas Eve treat, if you like. The year before that, we went to Braehead, where they got to do some sledging, they got to meet Santa, and they were snowball fighting because there's an indoor ski snow area there. Another year they went to like a bird of prey centre and they saw a Santa there. So another year when I was ill, actually, my mum took them to the Falkirk Wheel, and Falkirk used to do a Christmas barge ride. So they would get on the boat and they would have a trip on the actual Falkirk Wheel, and they would go round the canal, and there would be the little Christmas cottage, and there would be Santa on the boat and things like that, face painting, all that sort of thing. So Christmas Eve has always been a big deal. And then we would sit down at night, we would watch a Christmas movie, eat some sweets, and just really get excited about Christmas. And usually the girls will have a sleepover in each other's rooms, either in Brooke's room or Abby's room, and ready to get up on Christmas morning. But before I forget, when I was talking about the Christmas Eve boxes, the elves, I nearly forgot about the elves. How could I, considering the mischief they've got up to? Now, the elves hadn't always been around. This has only been for Brooke because Abby was older when the elves started appearing, and they appear, it used to be the start of December, it's now the last day in November, and it's getting bigger and bolder every single year. There's a new elf appearing every year, and where will it end? Where will it end? But it's so much fun, it's a lot of work. Mummy elf is going to have massive bags under her eyes by the time Christmas comes, you know, with the whole Christmas parties happening. 4 o'clock in the morning, that Christmas party was getting set up and things like that. You know, it's absolutely crazy, but I just love it. I love the magic of the elves. So yeah, that's another major tradition. Oh, we nearly forgot something very important. What do you do on Christmas Eve? You always leave out milk and cookies for Santa and a carrot for Rudolph. Now, I did that when I was tiny. The girls still do it now. That was all I would do when I was young. But now, as well as the milk and carrots and cookies, we also have to sprinkle reindeer dust outside on Christmas Eve before they go to bed, so that the reindeer dust sparkles and the deer can see it from the sky, and they come down. They know that there's kids in that house, so they'll come down, they'll eat the reindeer food, and then Santa will come in and leave the presents. So that is another very important tradition. We cannot forget that. And Christmas morning, as long as I can remember, we have had to sing Jingle Bells before we go into the living room in the morning, just in case Santa or his elves are still there. So we don't want to open the door without singing Jingle Bells, because if we catch them mid-act, them and all the presents would disappear. So we have to sing Jingle Bells, and we have done that ever since I can remember. And that has carried on with the girls as well. When Abby was born, ever since her first Christmas, Granny Annie and my dad have came to the house Christmas morning really early. They've came in and they have watched the girls open their stocking with us. We would stay in our bedroom. The girls would come, their stocking would be on their bedroom door, on the outside, not on the inside, because they don't like the thought of Santa going into their room. It kind of scared them a bit. So the stockings would be hung on the outside of their door before they went to bed on Christmas Eve. Another tradition that I forgot. So in the morning, they would bring their stockings through into our bedroom, and we would watch them open their stockings. Granny Annie and my dad would be there for it. Once they've opened their stockings, we sing Jingle Bells all the way to the living room from the bedroom, and we will cautiously open the door to make sure everything's okay. And the first thing that greets them is all the Christmas lights and the parcels. I remember from when I was tiny, opening the living room door and seeing all the parcels and just being like, wow, look at that. Just that feeling. And that's a feeling that Santa tries to recreate for the girls now, that wow. But it is getting harder because presents are getting more expensive, and the more expensive they are, the smaller they are. So it's harder to get that wow factor when you've got like 3 parcels. So it's like trying to pad things out to make it look like there's a lot of parcels, if you know what I mean. So yeah, just love that. So we would then open all our parcels. When I was young, We would open all our parcels, we would have a bite to eat, it wouldn't be anything specific. Then we would go to visit my Auntie Mary, which is Donna and Emma's mum that I talk about, my cousins, and Donna is wee Millie's mum. So we would always go there, we would see what Donna and Emma got, and then we would go to my gran's, my mum's mum, and we would open parcels there and we would have a great time. All the family would come round, and then my gran would make us Christmas dinner. We would all sit round the table. There would be a wee table for the kids and there would be a big table for the adults. There would be loads of us there, and we would just have, the adults would have a drink, we would have, you know, whatever pretend wine we were having, and we would just have a brilliant day. Then we would go home and I would play with all my toys and all the rest of it, and it would be brilliant. Once my gran and granddad basically got too old to be making Christmas dinner and things, we would still go and see my Aunt Mary and the kids. We would go and see my gran and granddad, but we wouldn't have dinner at their house. We would basically go home and we would get a Chinese takeaway. That was our dinner. A, because we weren't keen on turkey, and B, my mum was a rubbish cook. So it was always easiest just to get a takeaway. And the Chinese takeaway was always open because they celebrate their Chinese New Year rather than Christmas. So that's what we would do, and it would be great. Then when the girls came along, we would do the similar traditions, but my mum would come for the stockings, we would open the presents, we would have breakfast, which was a roll and sausage. We'd still go and see my Aunt Mary and my gran when Abby was wee, before my gran and granddad passed away, and we would have the Chinese takeaway. So not an awful lot changed. The first Christmas that we moved here, we discovered on Christmas Day that our local Chinese takeaway was closed. So we had to go into Helensburgh and we found an Indian takeaway. So our tradition sort of changed a bit there, and we brought that back, and it was lovely. But my mum and dad were having to go back home on Christmas Day because we didn't have the cabin then. It was a bit of an anticlimax. We still enjoyed playing games with the girls. We would watch Christmas films, things like that in the afternoon. Then last year, because we knew the Chinese takeaway was closed, we decided that my dad and Jack would cook. So that's what they did. They did cook last year, and we all sat round the table and had a proper sit-down Christmas dinner, which was lovely, but it was just more stressful. Whereas I like the relaxed feeling of getting a Chinese takeaway and sitting with it on their knee watching a Christmas film. But it was a wee bit more stressful for me, even although I wasn't cooking. So it was still enjoyable, but we thought this year, let's try and go back to our takeaway again. So we have discovered that our Chinese has been taken over by a new family, and they are open on Christmas Day this year. We just found out the other day. So we're so excited about that. And Granny Annie and my dad won't be having to rush away. They'll be staying in the cabin. So we will be having our Christmas dinner, and then who knows what we'll do. We might play games. We might, last year, my mum and dad went into the cabin in the afternoon while the kids played with stuff. I actually went for a nap because I was really tired. And then at night, my mum came in. My dad was too tired, but my mum came in and we sat and watched the series of A Christmas Carol that had, what's his name, Guy Pearce in it. It had been on over a couple of days leading up to Christmas, and we had recorded it, and A Christmas Carol's my mum's all-time favourite story. So we sat and we ate some Christmas rubbish and we watched all 3 episodes of that, and it was brilliant. It was so nice. So I don't know what we'll do this year at night, but I'm sure we will think of something. So that has been all the way up to Christmas. Boxing Day, my mum always went to visit my Aunt Margaret, our other sister, on Boxing Day. And we would just do whatever. We would go and visit family, or we would just play it by ear what we were doing on Boxing Day. So I'm going to save the New Year traditions for a later vlog and tell you them. It's nowhere near as long as the Christmas traditions. You'll be pleased to hear, but hopefully you have enjoyed hearing this. I would love to know if you've got any set traditions that you do. Please feel free to tell me about them in the comments below, and let me know what traditions you've got and how much they've had to change over the years, especially this year. Luckily, Granny Annie and my dad, they're part of our bubble anyway, so they were always coming for Christmas dinner anyway, so that is so good. I really feel sorry for people who usually have massive big family gatherings and can't have that this year. But I hope everybody does still have a great Christmas anyway. Hello! I'm in the car, as you can see. I've just dropped I've just dropped Abby at the doctor's. I'm not allowed to go in with her because of the whole COVID thing, so I'm hoping he doesn't fob her off. I'm hoping he actually listens to her and helps her, either with better pain relief or with antibiotics if it is an infection, or a spray even, just anything to give her relief. So while she's in there, I thought I would do the crazy Christmas karaoke. I should have brought my antlers. It's not the same without my antlers, never mind. I think the people in the car next to me would probably have a laugh at that as well. So yesterday's crazy Christmas karaoke was "How, how the mistletoe is hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me." So "Kiss her once for me" was the words yesterday. Today's song is going to be "Room is swaying, records playing, all the old songs we love to hear. All I wish that every day was Christmas. What a nice way. So as always, pop the missing words in the comments down below. That would be great. Abby's back and she's going to live. Do you want to tell them?
Didn't look too concerning, and the only strange thing is that my temperature's a bit high, but my ear was a bit, he looked at it and my sore one looks a wee bit different from my normal one, but nothing like bad.
Okay.
And he's given me amoxicillin.
Amoxicillin, cool. Okay, okay. Are you going to school or are you not bothering since it's now after 12 o'clock?
Wait until I'm going to see.
She's a nightmare. By the time she gets a bus and gets into school, it'll be time to come home.
Yeah.
But her friends are at school.
Exactly.
Right, so I'm going to end the vlog here. At least we know Abby will survive, and hopefully those antibiotics will kick in soon and get her out of pain, which will be the main thing. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this vlog. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's not too long and rambly for you. Don't forget to let me know your Christmas traditions. If you have enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day. I've not got enough fingers now, and I'm not getting my feet out. It's Vlogmas Day 11 tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye! Remember to be kind to each other. Santa's watching.